Delays are never a good thing. I think delays really kind of sting a little bit more, especially recently, because we just started a console generation. And it seems like because of the delays, it's actually almost a delay in the start of the generation. And it makes it look worse on Xbox because at the end of the day, they launched an Xbox One X in 2017. Realistically, didn't have any first party support for that, then released two new Xboxes for the next generation and haven't really released much in terms of first party for it. If you want to break it down, it's like they released a Halo Infinite game, a Forza Horizon game, then in 2018 was a Forza Horizon game, 2017 was a Forza Motorsport game. They really haven't released much, and I know that things are going to get better, and I know that things are on the right path. But Phil Spencer did come out today and make an announcement and kind of responded to fans on how upset they were about the Starfield and Redfall delay. I don't know that we've ever seen a Xbox year as barren of releases as we are this year. And honestly, I'm not sure what to make of that completely, right? Like, I don't want to attack the developers and things like that because I feel like that's not going to get anybody anywhere. At the same time, I do feel like this is something that Microsoft has to work on. They have to better plan these things in the future, and they have to be a little bit more transparent with the fans. So Phil Spencer said this: "These decisions are hard on teams making the games and our fans. While I fully support giving teams time to release these great games when they are ready, we hear your feedback. Delivering quality and consistency is expected. We will continue to work to better meet those expectations," which was, of course, he subtweeted that about the Bethesda update and delay, that they made the decision to delay the launches of Redfall and Starfield for the first half of 2023. If there is any good news in this, it's that for the first time in a very, very long time, Microsoft will actually have games at the beginning of a year. The bad part is, especially like for me personally, listen, I own all the consoles, so to me, there's nothing exclusive and so if I want to play something, I'll play it. The bad part is that this year, I was really expecting it to be a year of years, right? I keep talking about the golden age of gaming, and I'm sure that some of you have heard me mention that before. The problem is it the golden age of gaming if all the stuff gets delayed? Like, that's going to be a bit of a problem, and that has been a bit of a problem so far with this year. So if we look at it, we were originally going to get Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 this year. That was delayed. We were going to get Rocksteady's Suicide Squad. That was delayed. We were going to get Starfield. We were going to get Redfall. Both of those are delayed. Arkham Knights. I think that game looks okay, but people are complaining that it looks rough. And, even though that does have a release date, I could legitimately see them push that back months into next year, right? You have to remember that game is scheduled to come out at the end of October. If they delay that even for a few months, you're looking at going into next year. I could see that happening. Harry Potter or that Hogwarts Legacy game, right? I'm really looking forward to that. But again, that game is coming out this holiday, quote unquote. But that could be something that we see that gets delayed. And then there's that Lord of the Rings Gollum game. Again, it's a game that might get delayed. I just think that it's a weird situation because all the stuff that we really thought was going to come out and, sort of give us the amazing games for this year and the generation was going to go great. I feel like it's been a little bit of a disappointment this year. And, like even the new Fallen Jedi Order sequel that was going to come out this year, now that's delayed. Most of the stuff, the Avatar game, not till next year. It does look like we're going to get Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, thankfully, but so much of these other things are getting pushed, and it's unfortunate. And I do see a lot of pushback from the fans and things like that. I do hope that people are kind of respectful with this anyway. It's just so funny to me because people are so absolutely cynical, and when we see all of these types of announcements where these things are kind of laid out the way that they are, I just feel like, and my response to Phil was, which, I mean, obviously he doesn't listen to me or care what I say, but I said that they have to work on getting some other big third party games into Game Pass this year to help ease the news and maybe better transparency with other already announced games like Fable, Hellblade 2, Avowed, and things like that. They need to see some progress. We need to see some progress, with these games and get some release dates out. And honestly, I do hope that the delays help with the games themselves. It's unfortunate that it happens, but it does, and it doesn't just happen to Microsoft. But the problem is, people aren't going to give Microsoft a pass. They aren't going to be easy on Microsoft because of their past transgressions. I hate to say that, but it's just, I'm being honest. The past really kind of catches up to them, and that's unfortunate. And people are going to really, really kind of come clean when it comes to these type of things, just for the fact that Microsoft is kind of has this habit of doing this. And I do feel like, first of all, that this particular news was Bethesda, and Microsoft has pretty much nothing to do with Bethesda. But I just feel like at the end of the day, people are going to compare everything to Halo Infinite and 343, and I think that that's not really fair to those other developers and other studios. And we keep seeing some of these things happen, and for one thing, I am just really bummed out about that. But I don't want to compare what is happening with 343 with what's happening at Bethesda, or what's happening at Arcane, or what's happening at any of these other studios, because they're completely different situations and completely different circumstances. And I think that there could be some issues with some of the positions of leadership at some of these studios. So if you have 25 studios, there's bound to be an issue that pops up here or there, but there still should be some kind of plan, right? So think about this. I like the Marvel movie, or I like the Marvel MCU, or whatever you want to call it, right? I don't particularly plan on watching much more of it, but they, at least the thing that I give them over DC is they had a plan. They planned things like 10, 15 years out in advance or whatever, and they had stories that interconnected and things like that. It takes a lot of planning to do that. Another way of looking at it is, if you look at a TV station, they have content that's planned out, certain times, certain dates, and you gotta have that content out there, right? The fact is that Microsoft has Game Pass, and they're really banking on this, but they're going to go what we can assume is a whole year without any releases from their first party, and I can see why people are upset about that. And there's not really any kind of super silver lining that I can really jump into right now. So, I do hope that that's something that they can work on in the future, and I do hope that they kind of get their act together. And I can see why people are upset. I'm upset. I am, but at the same time, it's not the same instance as when they had 5 studios and things like that. I think that clearly, when they have 25 studios about to be 35 studios, that things are obviously going to change. It's getting to that point, and it's frustrating for gamers. I can tell you that much right now, because I feel frustrated by the situation, and it is not just from them. I'm just hoping among hope that that Hogwarts Legacy and Arkham Knight and these games release. Otherwise it's going to be a really dry year. But again, if they got to delay these games to get them out, I understand that much of it. I just hope that they actually come out and make some kind of huge announcements at the showcase exactly a month from now. That's what they got to focus on. They got to focus on getting these things announced, showing us some progress, something. Because so far, we get game delays, no gameplay, no release dates, and really no progress reports. So I can understand why people are upset and aren't willing to really give Microsoft much of a chance. I do hope they change that, though. I hope that they kind of change the perceptions and things like that. They were doing so good. They had so much momentum, and now it's like they shot themselves in the foot. Why they announced this news today, it's just really unfortunate. It really is. So I do hope that they get something out there announced sooner rather than later. So again, hopefully they can get that out there, and hopefully they can get people a little bit of something to look forward to and some kind of update. And it does suck that these games are delayed, but at least Phil was pretty much out in front of it and made some kind of announcement, even if it's something that we didn't really want to hear. So, with that being said, let me know how you guys feel about it. What's up? Tell me. If you're upset, let me know. If you guys are pissed off, let me know. Rack 'em up, fact 'em up, crap gamer 'em up. If you like the video, please do so, and it helps the video to be seen and channel to grow. Thanks for watching. Crap gamer out.